second?
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna install a H-brace today. I did some research on some old fence and figured out that there are some tried and true old-fashioned ways to do it, and I'm gonna try to teach you guys how to do that today. This is basically barbed wire without the barbs. It's called, it's written in Spanish. It's called twisted barbless cable. You're going to need a hammer. You're going to need some pliers with clippers, and you really only need the clipper part for this, but you may end up in a situation where you want the pliers, so we bring these. You bring a really big screwdriver. You can see this one's super oversized screwdriver. You're going to need a chainsaw, and the way we do it, we use a drill with a bit for drilling screws. We use a lot of screws instead of the pins that go on the ends. You'll see a lot of farmers use the pins. We use screws, and then some fence staples. So that's it, and we will show you how it's done now. All right, so the first thing you need to do is cut your horizontal post. That's simple enough. You get your assistant to hold one end and you hold the other, and then you eyeball it and just put a nice big dark line on your post. Next, we're gonna cut the post. That's why we bring a chainsaw. You could use a cordless circular saw if you want for this, but I find the chainsaw to be a whole lot more handy. Okay, you put your first two screws in while the horizontal post is laying on the ground. And you run them all the way till they're starting to come out the other side. So you got a 45-degree angle, and then the tip is just starting to come out at the end. Do that one more time over here. Okay, so as you start to lay out your H-brace, you have your assistant on one end and you're on the other, and you basically just need to take a step back and eyeball horizontal. Once you're satisfied with that, you go ahead and run in these two screws. Quickly come over to this one, make it straight, and run in that screw. Now you come in and you put screws on the sides of each one. So we'll have a total of 3 screws at each end of the horizontal piece. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is take your wire and you're going to go around both poles and have them overlap in a loop. So we'll show you how to do that. Sophie's going to do most of the hard work here, and we'll probably speed it up. Okay. So you got your loop. Sophie did it perfect. You have it going all the way around, both sides, overlapping and crisscrossing here. You have just enough twist in them so that they kind of stay together. Now you're going to put in a staple down at the bottom of the far end of your fence line, so like the end of your fence line goes low, and you put that staple in down near the ground, coming around your wire. I hammer that one all the way in, then I go to my top end and I put in another staple. It's important that this goes above your H-brace. That gives it the strength it needs. If you go below the H-brace, it's not going to be as strong. So you're going around your cable, putting in another staple. This top one, it's very important that we leave this one loose. I don't hammer this one all the way in, because after we get this twisted together just a little bit, we want to have a little slop to be able to go back and forth in there and even up our two lines on each side. You'll see why that's important in just a minute. Okay, so I have Sophie pulling on the line that's coming up from the bottom, and I'm kind of pulling down on the line that comes down from the top, and I'm going to start to wrap. After I get a few kinks in, or a few wraps in, then I start going a lot more steep with my angle to where it's almost a 90-degree angle to the one I'm wrapping around, and I just keep going till I have a lot of loops. That'll be enough there. Now with the top end, what we do is we actually turn that thing back around 180 degrees, and then we start looping that thing back down the line. What this ends up doing is, because we're going to twist all this together in just a minute, because we've come back down and we're in this area where it's going to be twisted, it's all pinched up and nothing can ever unravel. So that's enough loops here, enough loops from the beginning, and real quick we come in here and cut off the excess. Okay, so remember I told you we leave this top staple loose. And the reason we want to do that is because one of these lines might be a lot longer than the other. You see how it'd be easy for this one to kind of come out here and be way looser than this one back here. The quick and easy way that we have figured out to make these things both even is Sophie gets up there and she steps on both of them at the same time, puts even pressure on them, and that way when we twist these together now, they're gonna end up being exactly the same length. Here's the last step. We use the screwdriver and we just wind this thing up till it's tight. And Sophie and I work together on this because it ends up being a whole lot easier. Here's our system. And you can see at first it's really sloppy and loose, but it doesn't take very long before this is very, very tight. And it actually ends up getting easier as you go. It's getting tighter and tighter. We're not flopping around as bad. And that's how you know you're getting close to being done. And when you hear it creaking and getting real tight, you're done. So you loosen very slowly till it stops, and then you pull out your screwdriver and you can see that it's very tight. So that's it. That's our easy and quick way to do our H-braces. The reason you do an H-brace is you get these two posts working together to hold that pressure that's being pulled against it. So you always start high on the second post and go down to the end post at the bottom. So that's basically pulling this way, but all that weight that's pulling against the top of this post is being transferred down to a very solid bottom position right here, and all that cement in the ground, so that it's never going to make either one of these posts lean over as the fence pulls against it. So that's all you have to do for an H-brace on the end. I hope that was easier than the other stuff you found out there. I know that this is the easiest way we've found to do it, and we hope it helps.